Okay, hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Florence, and tonight I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about how I decided to quit my job and what has happened thus far, lessons I've learned, and encouragement to you. Tips and advice, if you would let me share with you on what you can do. And hopefully, my goal, my prayer, my hope is that at the end of this video, I would have succeeded in making your own journey, your own decision a little easier. Just about 3 months ago, I had the same problem. I was looking through the internet trying to find, videos that could help make my own decision easier. And I found a lot of wonderful videos, so many great people giving out great information. But the problem I had is that my situation was a bit different from some of these people. I'm a single mom, been a single mom for 13 years. And as a single mom, I'm the sole breadwinner. If I don't work, nothing happens. There is no one else bringing in income. I don't have money saved up. I was in debt and have no family, no support system. It's just me and my children. And so I feel like it requires a totally different set of criteria for me to make a decision compared to some of the people that I found. But of course, I learned a lot from them. But I'm hoping that by adding my own perspective, having understood the situation that I was in, that I'll be able to help you if you're also like me and have not found anyone that truly has your kind of situation. So if you're asking a question right now, how do I quit my job when I have no money saved up? How do I quit my job when I'm in debt? How do I quit my job when I have no support system? How do I quit my job when I don't even know what step I'm going to take next? Then this video is for you. So sit back and relax. I'm going to try not to take your time so much. I'm also sick, so I can't really talk for long. And I hope that you get what you came here for. So in October, like I said, I had gotten to a point where I was so exhausted. I had been working for 3 years in this particular place of work. And even though every day I went into work, I saw the impact of what I was doing in the lives of people because I was working in healthcare. And you get to see, you see directly the impact that you're having on people's lives, being able to help people get better and, live better and just add something good to their lives. But if I had to choose, that is not the work I would be doing. I never planned for that. I took that job because I needed a way to bring in income so I could take care of my children. I had tried, I had a company prior to this, but due to a lot of things didn't really work out well for us. And then COVID hit, so everything just fell apart. My kids were little, we're traveling a lot. It was just too much. It didn't work out. So we laid that aside. And I decided, okay, I think I know what I'm going to do next. But in order to do that, I need to make sure that money is coming in, so I don't have to worry about money. So I'm earning money, but I have a little time to plan my next project. That was the plan. So I took this job where I work night shift. I work about 10 hours, but that also means that we had a little less to do. So I felt like I would have more time to think and strategize on what to do next with my life. Little did I know how much this work would take from me, that it would literally suck the life out of me. And this was what happened. Within the span of 1 year, I had gone up in weight about 30 kg. I was exhausted all the time, sleeping all the time. It didn't matter how much I slept, I was always sleepy. I was snoring like a tractor. My children told me that I snore like a tractor, probably because I'd gone up in weight. I was just so tired. So tired. I was sad. I was anxious and depressed. I never knew that. I used to tell myself, I don't understand why people are depressed. Like, why are they depressed? You could be sad, but you have to pick yourself up and move. But I had got to experience it firsthand, what it feels like to live and feel like you're trapped and you don't know how to move forward. One of the reasons why I felt trapped was because I had a lot of debts that were just purely survivor debt. I didn't take any debt to live an extravagant or a luxurious life. I took debt because, like I said, I'm a single mom. I'm also the first child, the first daughter of my family. And that means that a lot of problems kept cropping up and, just things, unexpected things. And no matter how much I saved, no matter how much I tried to work, and just things happened that took my money away. And It was just a lot. Health issues, lost my parents. My mom was sick for 6 years, medical expenses, all of that. And I'm grateful to God that I was working. I was able to earn money to attend to these problems. But that also meant that I had to keep working. I couldn't save up enough to be able to take out time. And so all of this to just give you an idea of how I got to the point where I was. But I had been paying off some of this debt, and I believed that by the end of this year, I would have cleared everything. That was my plan. I'm just going to keep going. So even though I was tired, I felt like I have to keep going. By the end of this year, I'll clear up my debt, have some money saved up, as an emergency fund. I can finally take a step backwards and decide what to do next. But this particular night, I just couldn't take one more step. I was done. It was just done for me. So the question was, how do I quit when I don't have money saved up? How do I quit when I don't have, I've not paid off my debt? How do I quit when I don't have a support system, not even family members to say, okay, please, can you take care of the children? Let me go figure out what I'm going to do. I live in a foreign country all alone. I don't have family here. So it was just a very difficult decision to make. So what I decided to do was, because I had gotten this semi-employment for a couple of months, which fortunately coincided with the time when I was having this issue, I decided to take a holiday. I took 1 week holiday just to rest, because I had so much anxiety. Just the thought of going to work gave me so much anxiety. I was in tears all the time. I was a mess. So I took 1 week holiday, thinking, okay, let me just take a holiday, rest, and then decide what to do next. But after that 1 week, I can't go back. I felt so much better. Just the thought of, I don't have to go to work, took off so much pressure, so much weight from my shoulders, and I started feeling better immediately. But I was still having a lot of racing thoughts, because, this is just 1 week. What do I do next? What do I have to do now for the rest of my... It was just a lot. And because I had been in this environment and in this situation for so long, my creativity, my motivation, I've always been a goal-getter. I've always been very action-oriented, I want to do something, I strategize, I get it done. But I just noticed that I had changed. I was a totally different person. I was now so fearful, very mediocre, very average in my thinking. Like something had happened to my brain and to my mind. I was a shadow of myself. And so I knew that it was time to do something about it. So after that 1 week, I knew I couldn't go back. What I did was that I applied for sick leave, took the first 2 weeks off sick leave. I wasn't ready. I was still very tired, very fearful, very, just stressed about the whole situation. So I had to go back to the clinic, applied for another sick leave for 1 month. After the 1 month, I took another 1 month off, which is supposed to end by the end of this year. And that leads me to the next part of my story, which I think is most important, or very important. Not most important, every part is important. Because during these few months, what I have noticed is that at least I've been able to nurse myself back to health. That's number one. I'm sleeping better at night now. Joint pain that I used to have, all but gone. My knees were so jammed up, my ankles, my shoulders, just pain all over my body. In fact, I started to think, oh my goodness, so this is how my old age is going to be, because my health, I was declining in health every single day. I'd gone up 30 kg. It was a mess. It was a mess. And so I've been getting better by the day, feeling very strong now, gotten back to regular exercises, just feeling great with life overall. What have I learned in this journey? When I first stayed home, the first thing that came to my mind was to read the letter of St. James in the Bible. I don't know why that came to my mind, but I just knew absolutely, without a shadow of doubt, that where I needed to read or start reading my Bible, reading my Bible was James. And so I started reading James, and there's a lot of talk about faith and how our actions complement faith, and how without action, your faith is dead. Things like that. I kept asking God, what are you saying? In fact, I knew that God was speaking to me, because, like I said, I had become very fearful, and all I could think of, what am I going to do? Where am I going to get money? How am I going to pay rent? All of these things. coming into my mind. How am I going to pay this debt? And I kept hearing God telling me, faith, action, faith, action. But every action seemed so big to me. Just the very thought of quitting my job was like the biggest action I can ever take in my life. But God is our Father, and He's been so wonderful, so loving to me. And what happened is that what I heard in my spirit is, what is the tiniest action that I can take in direction of faith? So you look at it this way: fear is on this end, faith is on this end. Every action you take is either leading you towards fear or towards faith. Every action, big or small. So maybe you can't take a big action now. You might not be able to walk into the office and tell your boss, I'm done, I'm not working anymore. But you can take one action. For me, that action was taking a sick leave, taking a holiday, just taking time off. Whether money is coming or money is not coming or a little money is coming, what's the next action? After that, because I took sick leave, I didn't get enough money. The money I got that first month was not even enough to pay my rent. I don't know how they made the calculation, but at the end of the month, I got about $800. I have no idea what happened. $800. My rent is about $700 plus dollars. How do I pay rent, feed the kids, pay other bills, internet, electricity, and all of that? So that was just a mess. So I had to figure that out. I'll be going into all those details maybe in another video. But I had to find another way, to get this money, to pay rent and all of that. And God has been very faithful in that regard, because the obvious action for me then would have been to just go back to work so that at least I can start working at any money, because I don't want to ask anybody for money. I don't want to do, I don't know what to do. But I knew that going back to work was going to be an act of fear rather than an act of faith. So I decided to just take a leap of faith and just keep moving, taking one day at a time, which is the next thing. Taking one day at a time. I tried not to worry too much about what's going to happen at the end of the month, what's going to happen next year, how long do I need to stay at home, how am I going to figure out what to do next. I tried not to worry because my mind was not in the right state. I was completely messed up. I didn't even realize how messed up I was from being in that situation for so long. So all I asked myself is, what can I do today? What can I do today? Started with cleaning up my house, because the house was already a mess. So many things I couldn't get to because I was working all the time. Cleaning up the house, getting my life in order, start my exercise routine. Just things like that. Reading my Bible, just one step at a time. But what has been the greatest blessing to me is being able to reconnect with my children. I actually didn't know how much I had missed them. I didn't know how much I had missed in their life and how much they had missed me. My daughter had so much to tell me, but she couldn't because I didn't have time. And when she had time, she saw how stressed I was, so she never really wanted to put more on me. And she's growing, these children are growing, and I was missing out. What the devil wanted to do was to take me away from home so that my children don't have the support that they need in me, and then they are left to their own devices, and who knows where that would have led them. But God in His mercy pulled me out when He pulled me out, and I was able to, reconnect with my kids and help them to sort out everything that they were dealing with. So I don't want to make this video too long. The encouragement I have for you, because I know the question you came with as you came to watch this, as you clicked on this video, is, what do I do? I cannot tell you what to do. You know what to do. God knows what you need to do. And that discontent, that discomfort, that nudge you're feeling in your heart is God knocking on the door, asking you to give Him a chance to do something with you so great that you would never in your wildest imagination have even thought of. There is something God wants to do with you, and so He's calling you. But I also know that this is very challenging. Just like I said, if you are already in this state, your mind is already so messed up, you don't even know how messed up your mind is. I used to be someone who was a goal-getter, who made a decision, whatever I wanted to do, and I did it. I walked into any office without fear. If I wanted something, I got it. But I just realized that this past 3 years, I had become a shadow of myself. And maybe that's the same situation with you, which is what is putting that fear in your heart. But I need you to know that God is in control. And if He's in control, everything you need is on the other side of fear, is in the direction of faith. So what should you do? Number one, identify rather, what resources are available to you. Maybe like me, you have access to sick leave or holiday or whatever it is. Can you take a little time off? Because when you take a little time off, you find perspective. We always, one of the advice we give everyone or even give ourselves when we're having a difficult time making a decision in any other thing in life, say, well, let me just take some time off and then I'll see what happens. If you're in a relationship and it's not working well, usually somebody will tell you, why don't you just take some time off? Both of you should, just take time apart and see what happens. But when it comes to our work, it's almost like we don't remember that is actually something very powerful practice. Take time off. Because what happens is that you expose yourself to another experience, another way of living, another way of being. And then you can now compare this new way of living to how you were living before. And then it makes your decision so easy. Then you say, oh no. You mean this is what my life has been? This is not what I want. This is what I want. Then you can now make the next decision about how to get that, how to make that a permanent in your life. The second thing I'll tell you is you have to have faith. You cannot expect to figure it all out at once. So if you want to quit your job, don't worry about figuring it out like, okay, what am I going to do if I quit my job? You have no way of knowing. And if we look through the scriptures, it's very rare that God tells anybody, God tells you, this is where I want to lead you. But between here, where you are right now, and where God is taking, you have no clue what you're going to go through, what is going to happen in the middle. The only assurance we have is that if God is with us, no one can be against. If God is with us, we are victorious. So if God is calling you, your job is to respond. Respond. Walk with Him. Whatever happens in the middle, He will be there to guide you. That is just it. So walk in faith. And don't worry about taking this big, ginormous step of faith. No, just a tiny little step today. Whatever that may mean for you, I cannot tell you what that is, but you know what it is. Every decision you make is taking you either in the direction of fear or in the direction of faith. So when you wake up every day and you have to make all these tiny decisions, make sure that every step you're taking is taking you towards faith, not towards fear. And if you're a single mom, you are strong. You got this. You've already overcome so much in your life. This is a piece of cake. You can do this. You can do it. Don't let the enemy steal the remaining years that you have. There is so much more to enjoy in life. Life is not just about labor. There is love. There is leisure. And God wants us to enjoy all of that. How He will structure it for you, I don't know, because my life is different from yours. And God has different plans for each and every one of us. But in all, we know that God's plan for us are good. He promised us in the scripture, said, the plans I have for you, they are good, to give you a future with hope. So rise up and trust in this God who has called you and let Him lead you. If you are called to walk away from your job, walk away from it. It's going to be all right. I have not figured it out all myself. It's just been a couple of months, but my life is already so much better. I feel so much relaxed. I feel much better. Spending time with my kids every day, laughing, growing with them, teaching them, pouring into them. There is no better feeling in the world. And I hope that you come to experience this. So I'm going to leave this video here because I'm really sick. I feel so much discomfort in my throat, and it's already quite late at night, so I have to go to bed. But I thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope that this video is for you what I hope and prayed before I started making it. I wish you all the best. God bless. Let me know in the comments below how it's going and what you're deciding to do. Bye. See you guys in the next episode.